CanFitPro has a really, really excellent online nutrition event coming up. We're going to give all the details on that. And it is around something called emotional eating. And here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by registered holistic nutritionist, registered psychotherapist, and canfitpro-certified personal trainer, Christie Noua. Christie, welcome to the show. And you wear many hats. You're a multi-talented person. Tell me, let's talk about some of those roles, Christie, and your passion for, nutrition, personal training, psychotherapy. Where did that stem from?
Thanks, Derek. So that started with my interest in wanting to become a doctor, actually.
Okay.
And I fell in love with the idea of holistic medicine and holistic healing. So initially I had my own journey where I struggled with eating behavior. I'd overeat, struggle with digestion, and I'd go to the store. I will base myself on what food says on the packaging. And I realized I never was healthy eating more fiber that was on the packaging or more iron or whatnot. So I got curious and I decided to do my diploma in holistic nutrition. Then that got me to understand the psychology aspect of food. And I did my bachelor in biochemistry and psychology. So I was like, wow, I want to do a master in psychology. So in doing that, I got to better understand food behavior, situations like emotional eating, binge eating, and I also did my personal training certification. And so the idea is to bring all of them together to support clients in meeting their goal in a way that's not only whole, but in a way that is sustainable, that follows a personalized, unique approach.
Right. And so because you've gone through this, personally, you can really speak to it. And I think that's important in many situations. Tell me about a little bit more about emotional eating. How would you describe that?
Yes. So emotional eating, give me a second.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Emotional eating really involves using food to cope with emotions, right? So rather than think, oh, I'm hungry, let me eat, you're not hungry, you're feeling maybe stressed, maybe overwhelmed, maybe lonely or bored, and then you're using food to cope with the discomfort of that emotion. So that's in a nutshell what emotional eating would be like.
So can you then adjust it by what you're eating and how much you're eating?
Not really, because then emotional eating at the root is the emotion that's triggering you to want to eat to cope with it. So finding any kind of nutrition protocol or ways to adjust your eating behavior will not necessarily be as successful. It might create more frustration because you think, well, I'm trying my best and I'm not getting results. So you would need to focus on what the root is, which is the emotion that's triggering that need to eat.
So how do you help clients in addressing those emotions?
Mm-hmm. So I would start by trying to understand the root cause, meaning the emotion at play. And emotional eating is so different for everybody. Some people will feel triggered to eat because of loneliness, but some people won't have that same issue. For them, it will be boredom. Right? So for them will be maybe anxiety. So understanding the root emotion first, and then nurturing compassion. Because a lot of the times when people emotionally overeat, they judge themselves for it. They judge the process. That creates more negative emotions around it, which worsens their experience with emotional eating. So it would be first figuring out what the emotion, which emotion is triggering that situation, but also creating a lot of compassion around that experience so that you can not only have more understanding and more awareness, but then over time that can empower you to take the decision necessary to manage the emotional eating, which is to address the emotion rather than to want to control it by food.
Christie, I guess, does it become a habit then we find ourselves sort of stuck in this vicious cycle of, I'm depressed and maybe, I'm doing it, when I'm, sitting in front of the TV. Should we start taking away some of these habits where we find ourselves doing the emotional eating?
I think in a way, yes. if those habits are perpetuating the emotion, the negative emotion, and not supporting you to address it, then maybe yes. Because then that would keep festering those emotions and create space for them to grow. And as a result, you would want the food to cope. So if, let's say, you are eating as you're watching TV and you enjoy your comfort food, and that perpetuates this feeling of isolation, which worsens emotional eating, then another behavior could be, okay, call my friends or hang out with family a little frequently to really balance out this isolated feel or boredom that you experience.
Christie, as a personal trainer, do you find can fitness play a role in this as well?
Yes, it could. It could. It could if, for example, some people find that when they work out more, they are just happier. Their mood is better. The workout provides this activity that they don't have usually in their day. As a result, they don't feel, I don't want to use the word useless throughout the day, but they don't feel purposeless. Yes, purposeless. So as a result, they feel better and they don't feel the need to emotional eat. Especially if the emotion that drove them to overeat is that of feeling purposeless.
You have an online...
So fitness could play a big part.
Right. You have an online nutrition event coming up. Tell me what people can expect and how they can get involved.
Yes. The Aspire event from CanFitPro is Friday and Saturday, and there's so many different presentations. One of them is my presentation on emotional eating, how to make peace with ourselves and food. And people would learn a lot of, they'll get a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge that will empower them to make the shift necessary to progress towards more positive outcome in their lives.
Christie, really appreciate the time today. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the show.
Thank you so much, Derek, for having me.
All right, take care. That is Christie Noua. And again, CanFitPro, it's called Aspires. It's an online nutrition event. It is happening Friday and Saturday, March 3rd and 4th. You can find out all the information, how to register at canfitpro.com. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this.